Pomp and Circumstance, and almost immediately after we finish, we go into the national anthem. Pomp and Circumstance is as written, the first measure is there. Remember the Star Spangled Banner also starts with the fermata, and do we have 1 and 2 covered well enough on the Star Spangled Banner? After that, we get to sit and rest for a while. We'll have earned our keep. Problem is I did not put the fanfare into PDF. I was going to do these page turns, not knowing how many. Right. Yeah, I'll probably be pushing on the piece of paper. But well, it's not like I need to direct from the anthem. I've been on the direct ever since high school. It's a habit.
It's a security blanket.
It is. Actually, Pomp and Circumstance is a security blanket. It starts with a banner, starts beside Trevor. It's over there. I've got the thing memorized. Same thing with Slavic. I don't have songs that are very different. Sneaks around the corner and starts waving at me.
Yeah. Yes. To take turns. Yep.
I really hate this curtain. It deadens us so badly.
We could take over the platform.
We could. Or I could just sabotage that curtain so it can't be put up next year.
Yeah.
Thanks is extended to the Northland Community Band under the direction of Linda Samuelson for providing music for our ceremony. Good evening. I'm Mary Fonts, Dean of Student Affairs. It is my honor to convene the 2019 Commencement for Northland Community and Technical College. Let's start this evening with a round of applause for our graduates. You may be seated. Graduates, through your perseverance, ingenuity, and determination, you have fulfilled the requirements for graduation and are now prepared for the successful futures before you. Congratulations. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the members of the Northland Community and Technical College faculty. Will the members of the faculty please rise? Please join me in a round of applause to show our appreciation. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to our students. I would like to introduce the individuals who are part of this evening's ceremony. Dr. Dennis Bona, President of Northland Community and Technical College. Dr. Brian Huschel, Provost. Mike Kerfman, Thief River Falls Campus Dean. Dr. Stephen Nelson, Philosophy Instructor and Faculty Speaker. And Josiah Dyrud, Student of the Year. At this time, please welcome Dr. Brian Huschel.
Welcome, graduates, family, friends, and guests to the 2019 graduation ceremony for Northland Community and Technical College. Graduates, I'd like to congratulate you on your accomplishments. I wish you the best of luck reaching your long-term goals that you've set for yourselves. I want to add my thanks to the faculty for your dedication to your programs and to your students. I also want to thank our support staff for the excellent services that they provide to our students. At this time, please welcome Mike Kerfman.
It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce this year's Student of the Year. This year's recipient is Josiah Dyrud.
Graduates and guests, I'm honored to have been chosen as the Student of the Year. Like many of you, I always planned on continuing my education after high school. It was a logical next step for me. The opportunity to do so came up sooner than I expected. Going into my junior year of high school, I learned about the post-secondary enrollment options, or PSEO program. I wasn't convinced at first, but eventually I realized how much time and money I could save by utilizing the system Northland has set up. Northland was a natural choice. My junior and senior years of high school, I took a mix of online classes and in-person classes at Northland. I had already taken all of the art classes I could at Lincoln, so it was wonderful to take many more here. I received great advice and my skills grew, in addition to finishing generals that I can use to complete a 4-year degree sometime in the future. Last spring, I graduated with both my high school diploma and associate's degree from Northland. It was a surreal moment. Of course, the question immediately came up. What are you going to do after Northland? My answer was simple: continue going to Northland. After considering my options, I decided to go through the welding program. It was a bit nerve-wracking at first, as I had never welded before. While many of the other students had grown up in that world, most of it was completely new to me. Our welding instructor, Mr. Joel Ziegler, had a bit of work to do getting me up and running, and admittedly, it took some effort on my part as well. Wrapping up this last semester, I found myself under a plastic helmet looking up at a 10,000-degree welding arc as molten weld spatter fell around and on top of me. I was doing this intentionally, of course, as it was an unavoidable aspect of overhead welding. But this brought back memories of martial arts the year before, when I was intentionally picking people up, throwing them violently to the ground, and getting college credit for it at the same time. I've definitely had some memorable experiences here at Northland. I've had a unique journey, starting with online classes, finishing up generals in the classroom, and this year going through a trade program. Now I'm prepared to specialize at a 4-year school if I want. Plus, I have certifications in a trade that pays well. I can honestly say that all the staff, the teachers, and instructors have been incredibly supportive. They genuinely want to help their students succeed in life. I'd like to thank the staff and faculty at Northland for all the work they do and the parts of their lives they share with the students. You're all amazing. I'd like to thank my family for being so supportive and encouraging, even in the times when I was stressed and irritable. And most of all, I'd like to thank my parents for pushing me and being there when I needed them. For me, going to Northland has saved me a significant amount of time and money, and I'm now much closer to achieving my goals in life.
Thank you, Josiah. At this time, please welcome our faculty speaker, Dr. Stephen Nelson.
Hi. I haven't given a speech like this before, so unfortunately it's going to be a little bit of a lecture. I'll apologize in advance for that. So I'm instructor here at Northland, so my discipline is squarely in what we call liberal arts. Right? But I've also taught quite a few of you who are graduating with degrees and certificates in the tech and trade programs. Right? And from what I know of the faculty here, I'm sure that no matter what you come here to study, you are getting a liberal arts education. Okay? So I'd like to say just a few words about this and about the meaning and importance of your liberal arts education. At this time when you're at a transition, whether it's to the next stage of a formal education at a university or to a career you train for, or even just to wander and figure out what should come next to you. First, though, I just want to note that that we're losing two of our most passionate liberal arts educators this spring. Dr. Jack Haymond is retiring after 30 years of teaching history here at Northland. On top of teaching, Jack has also been a key force in upholding the academic integrity at this institution. And John Leopold is also unfortunately leaving us after 24 years of teaching art and martial arts, knife making, and all kinds of other things. John has been a tireless advocate for students, mentoring them, raising funds for them, inspiring them to find their creativity and identity. The college community will miss them both immensely. You know, the whole concept of a liberal arts education, at least under that description, is rooted in the ancient Greek philosophers I teach about every year. Aristotle introduced this idea of the liberal arts 2,400 years ago in his work on politics, where he discussed who should be taught what. He had the same sorts of subjects in mind as we do when we talk about the liberal arts: literature, art, philosophy, math, all the sciences. The word Aristotle used for these academic pursuits was, in Greek, eleutheria, which is just a Greek word related to liberty or freedom. In our charitable interpretation, we like to think we call these studies the liberal arts because they set our minds free. They open us up, expose us to new things. This is true, but more directly, Aristotle meant that these were the academic pursuits that free people ought to spend their time on. Okay? In ancient Athens, which was a democracy at the time, there were the full citizens who were free. And then there was everyone else: women, slaves, foreigners, wage laborers. Okay? The non-citizens had their own duties, but Aristotle thought that the free people, the citizens, had a duty to develop their character, become virtuous people, which required developing their ability to think critically and flexibly. there was quite a lot of civic participation that was required of the citizens in ancient Athens. They were expected to participate in the assembly, where they voted on everything from military issues to financial policies. They also served on juries, like the jury of 500 citizens that gave Plato's teacher Socrates the death penalty for what they said was corrupting the youth, but really was just teaching young people how to critically examine what the older people were telling them. Citizens were even expected to show up to theater contests where playwrights would compete for the best comedies and tragedies. Now, if you're going to expect the citizens to be shaping the laws, the foreign policy, and the culture of a society in a democratic way, then it makes sense to want to cultivate them into critical, flexible thinkers. We saw the same sentiment come back during the Enlightenment period of the 18th century, when democracy came back in full force through the revolutions here and in France. The early days of democracy here had a lot in common with the early days of democracy in Athens. Citizens were given a lot of trust as well as a lot of responsibility. But just like in ancient Athens, not everyone was considered a citizen. When the Declaration of Independence said that all men are created equal, they had in mind men, white men who owned property. Equality wasn't for everyone. But through a couple centuries of struggle, organizing, and activism, people have expanded the definition of a citizen to include people who aren't white, people who aren't men, and people who don't own property. Along with that expansion was also an expansion of who ought to have the basic right to a liberal arts education, because that's one of the key components of being a free person. The American philosopher John Dewey put it this way: "It is no accident that all democracies have put a high estimate upon education, that schooling has been their first care and enduring charge. Only through education can equality of opportunity be anything more than a phrase. Accidental inequalities of birth, wealth, and learning are always tending to restrict the opportunities of some as compared with those of others. Only free and continued education can counteract those forces which are always at work to restore, in however changed a form, feudal oligarchy. Democracy has to be born anew every generation, and education is its midwife." When Dewey said this in 1916, it's not like there was rampant equality of opportunity all over the country, but it was better then than it had been the generation before. It was also considerably better than back in ancient Athens. If nothing else, at least in the development of education. In Aristotle's time, there really were only a couple of schools, including the Lyceum that he started, and the Academy that Plato started, where Aristotle had studied for years. By the way, that word academy, which is the root of our concept of academics and academia, Plato's school got that name just because it was the name of the suburb of Athens where Plato did his teaching, named after an old local hero named Hecademus. They'd planted a nice olive tree grove in his honor, so it was a pleasant place to start a school. Now, Plato and Aristotle maybe would have disagreed with Dewey when it comes to how broadly they thought of the equality of opportunity that ought to come from education. But they did clearly agree with him about the importance of education to a healthy democracy. Not long after Dewey wrote about education being necessary for equality of opportunity, my grandmother, Olga Marie Anderson, was born and raised up here in northern Minnesota, just a couple hours east of here in Effie, or near Effie. There was a one-room schoolhouse in her community about a mile away through the deep woods. After that, women in those days had two options if they wanted to continue their education. They could study to be nurses, or they could study to be school teachers. My grandmother chose to go to Bemidji, to the teachers' college there. She and her three sisters, they ended up being two nurses and two teachers. Then World War II came along, and all the men were shipped off, and the job market opened up for women. My grandmother never really wanted to be a teacher, so she tried out welding and a few other things. She eventually spent most of her career doing two things that she really loved: selling Tupperware and making fancy wedding cakes. Now, speaking of World War II, the ending of that war had an enormous effect on public education in our country, too. The GI Bill, which was enacted 75 years ago this year, helped transform and expand public colleges and universities. Back then, fewer than 5% of Americans had a four-year college degree, and now more than 33% have completed one. It's quite a big jump for a short amount of time. Right? The GI Bill was kind of that generation's midwife that Dewey mentioned, helping to renew the birth of democracy through education. It wasn't perfect. It was still shaped by the Jim Crow climate that prevented African Americans from taking advantage of it, and by a culture that wanted women to go back to focusing on being homemakers after the war. But as the public colleges and universities blew up with so many new students, the doors gradually opened wider. I suppose the next generation's midwife was the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s, which opened the doors of education even more through activism and legislation. Now, I'm oversimplifying the history of these things. I'm sure Jack Heyman will have some corrections for me after I'm done. But one of the points I'm trying to make is that we ought to consider ourselves lucky to live in a time when the liberal arts education is valued as broadly as it is. And it has been valued this broadly so long now that you graduates grew up in a time where it just seems obvious that you could choose whatever kind of career you want. I know you're not blind to the fact that there's still plenty of problems in society. Plenty of sexism, racism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, all kinds of things like that. But you also grew up with 8 years of a black president and with multiple women and people of color on the US Supreme Court and in Congress. We're in a state where both of our US senators are women. We have a black Muslim state attorney general whose former US House seat is now held by a woman who's not only black and Muslim, but she's also an immigrant, a refugee from Somalia. Whatever you think about their politics, it's impossible to deny the message that their success has sent you young people about the options you're going to have available to you, regardless of your identity, in comparison to my grandmother's two choices of being a nurse or a teacher. Another point I want to make, though, is that you can't take these options for granted. You graduates may have grown up seeing all these possibilities ahead of you, but this is a very recent development in the grand scheme of things. And it's a fragile thing. Nothing guarantees it'll stick around forever. We've had quite a few generations in a row that have kept renewing our democracy, but so did Athens. Their democracy lasted about 140 years. So far, we've outlasted them by almost 100 years. But we don't want to get too cocky. Ancient Greek democracy was followed by a Roman Republic for a while, but then democracy effectively went away and stayed away for almost 2,000 years. There's a passage from Omar Khayyam's poem, The Rubaiyat, that my college mentor back at NDSU, a brilliant woman named Catherine Cater, used to quote every once in a while that seems relevant. It goes, I sometimes think that never blows so red. The rose is where some buried Caesar bled. That every hyacinth the garden wears dropped in its lap from some once lovely head. Again, the things that we treasure, like our democracy and our public education system, are fragile things like a rose or the hyacinth. Right? And they're the result of hard-fought struggles that demand our acknowledgement and respect, in addition to our appreciation of their beauty. We need to continue to take our education seriously and use it the way Dewey suggested, to make sure that we value it for the service it does to keeping our democracy functional and pushing towards the equality of opportunity. Skip the page here. One trend I want to mention that might concern us a bit is a shift in how people have come to think of public education, especially higher education. It's very popular to talk about education these days in similar ways to how we talk about business and corporations. We think of the taxpayers as shareholders and students as customers, the administration as executives, and the faculty and staff as service workers. The shift in how we think and talk is powerful. It's more powerful and I think more dangerous than we usually acknowledge. Okay? The mission of public education is first and foremost to provide a public service, that of creating informed, well-developed, well-rounded citizens. Okay? The mission of a corporation is significantly different. It's first and foremost to maximize profits, increase value for shareholders. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with making money, right? But people often forget that there's also nothing wrong with public service. Right? It turns out that educating the public is actually good for the economy too, but that's an extra effect, not the primary mission. Right? Now, thinking about colleges on a corporate model also tends to focus our attention primarily on preparing students for the workforce. As a student, if you're thinking of yourself as a customer, and you notice how much money you're paying out, your focus is naturally drawn to whether you're going to get a measurable return on that investment. Right? You want to know that paying all this money is going to get you a better job than you would have got otherwise. Right? Again, I'm not saying that good jobs are unimportant. It's totally reasonable to be concerned about that. But if it's all anyone focuses on, then the public education system loses one of its core functions. The function that Plato and Aristotle thought was central to the health of a society, of expanding the minds of the citizens to help them critically examine their own lives as well as their communities. Not just to learn a measurable skill, but to learn how to see issues from different perspectives. Okay? Not just a job qualification, but a foundation that gives you the tools to decide how to shape your life and your participation in the community in a valuable way. We don't always think about the connection between these activities and being a good citizen, but that connection has been there since the beginning of public education, since Plato started teaching in the groves of academia. The message I'm trying to give you here isn't focused so much on the individual choices you make for your own career or education path. Instead, I'm speaking to you more as a fellow citizen, moving on to your next stage of civic participation. You may not be able to control how much tuition is going to cost next year, but your generation will have collective decisions to make about what you want public education to look like for the following generation. Whether to push for more equality of opportunity, or whether to let that push lose ground to the forces at work, as Dewey said, who want to move things backwards. This is a heavy burden to place on you, especially at a time when it's very hard for individuals who aren't extremely rich or famous to shape society in any significant way. But it's not up to you as an individual to do that on your own. It's only up to you to find a role you can play that contributes in some positive way to the direction you want things to go, and keep passing along the encouragement to others to do the same. On that note, I'd just like to end with a quote from another great educator, Bell Hooks. She said, "To build community requires vigilant awareness of the work we must continually do to undermine all the socialization that leads us to behave in ways that perpetuate domination. Dominator culture has tried to keep us all afraid, to make us choose safety instead of risk, sameness instead of diversity. Moving through that fear, finding out what connects us, reveling in our differences. This is the process that brings us closer, that gives us a world of shared values, of meaningful community." You graduates now have the tools to keep yourselves aware and to do that work to build and improve your communities. I look forward to seeing what you do next. So congratulations and good luck. At this time, please welcome Dr. Dennis Bona.
Thank you, Stephen. You know, you hire a philosophy instructor, you get a philosophy instructor. I feel obligated at this point to award everybody 1.5 credits. We'll set a booth up there. I learned something, and I have been to a lot of commencement ceremonies. And I'm going to say this not to date myself or age myself or brag, but to establish a little bit of credibility with you into the remarks I'm going to make. This is my 44th commencement that I've participated in. It's not counting the ones I've attended. This is a participated in. 12 as a college president. And what I've come to understand about commencement is there are actually 5 stages of commencement. In the first 3 stages, we kind of all feel and we can all participate in, and we're going to try and get you all to participate in these stages right now as I review them with everyone. Stage 1, what I need to have you do, this is audience participation, folks. I need to start taking deep breaths. Come on, I need to see that, like, okay. Deeper, deeper, deeper. The first stage of commencement is relief. You completed it. There's no more pressure on you. Not just those of you sitting in front of me here, graduates, but those of you in the stands who are out there supporting these graduates and help them get through the trials and tribulations and challenges in their lives. And so you should feel a sense of relief as well. So it's a very, very satisfying feeling. Which takes me to the next stage of commencement. And for that one, I'd like to see as many smiles as I can see out there. I want to see teeth. Let's get some smiles going on, some grins. Please. Here's wonderful. You know who I'm pointing at there. That's beautiful. Okay, very good. Oh, look at that, right in the front row here. How about in the stands? We got smiles in the stands because this is the time when we should feel so satisfied and we should take so much pride in what we've accomplished here that it should bring a smile to your face. One of complete and total satisfaction. You have earned a credential, graduates, that no one's ever going to be able to take away. It is on your resume permanently. And that's a good feeling. That's an accomplishment. Be very proud of that. The third stage is one of joy and happiness, and I'll just say it's about celebration. And so I'd like to do that now, and I thought about, well, what can I get people to say and cheer? Because this is like you scored the touchdown, you hit the home run. This is you hit the lotto. This is a time to celebrate. So what can I get everybody to kind of scream in unison here so I don't have you all saying different things? So I thought about that, and I said, well, the thing that comes to mind the most and represents us all sitting here is Northland. And so I'm going to get a little competition going because I'm believing that the graduates are very happy, but I've got a side bet up here that says the people in the stands are even happier that you're graduating, okay? So on the count of 3, I want the graduates to yell at the top of your lungs, Northland, and then we're going to see if the people in the stands can do any better than you. They outnumber you, so your work is cut out for you here, okay? All right. 1, 2, 3. Not too bad. Not too bad. But I know we got more up here, and I know they kind of want to put it in your face. So let's see if the stands can do, all the people, all the supporters of the graduates. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they outdid you. Yeah. We could go on, give you another second try, but we don't need to. We're just going to be all happy and that we're in this mood of celebration. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit now because the 4th stage and the last 2 stages are not for the people in the stands. They're for the graduates, exclusively for you. The first one is what I'll describe as anxiety, perhaps apprehension, maybe fear. Okay? So you text this all the time. I want you all to give me your best OMG face. Jaw drops, eyes get big. What did I just do? Okay? I graduated, but I've been so focused on finishing up school, what am I doing afterwards? I'm actually going out now to work for real. I'm going on to school. Whatever it is that you're doing, that can create some anxiety. This is the next chapter in your life. But I'm here to make you feel a little bit better about that because, folks, graduates, you have been well prepared. The faculty are very skilled in what they do. We know you're walking out of here with the skills that you sought when you came here. And even though that the skill set for anyone graduating college has about a 3-year shelf life, we've taught you something more important than those skills you're walking out of here with. We've taught you how to learn. Stephen talked about the value of that liberal arts education, how to think critically, how to communicate, how to study. Whatever challenges that lay out there in front of you, and there will be many, you are prepared. You have the skill set now. You are able to learn, and you will be successful. So feel better about that. The final stage of commencement. And I don't know what to call it. I was nervousness, worried. I've watched a lot of people walk the stage, come across to shake the hand. Everybody's thinking, well, yeah, there's only maybe a couple thousand people here tonight, but we're live streaming this. I don't know that we'll have a Super Bowl audience out there, but I guarantee if you fall coming across the stage, it will be viral. There will be millions of people watching you take a derf right up here on the stage. So that's pressure, and you got to be worried about that. I've seen the sweatiest handshakes you can imagine when people come across the stage. I don't know what to do for you about that other than get this thing started. So, Mr. Kerfman, would you please get the ceremony on its way? Thank you.
Thank you, President Bona. Our nursing graduates will be pinned today as they cross the stage. The pinning is a symbol of the care and the devotion a nurse provides to the sick and injured in the practice of nursing. Graduates, please rise. President Bona, in accordance with the prescribed level of achievement for each instructional program, every one of the graduates has met or will very shortly meet the competency requirements for graduation. Therefore, on this 16th day of May, 2019, I certify to you that each of these candidates is eligible to graduate on the date specified on the diploma and will be entitled to the rights and privileges contained therein.
On behalf of the Minnesota State Colleges and University Board of Trustees, I accept these candidates for graduation and confer the level of achievement earned. I did have another part. Graduates, with the first row, please approach the stage to receive your diplomas. All others can be seated until the ushers signal you to your row to move forward. When you return to your seats, please be seated.
Josiah Dyrud.
Laura Fish, Liberal Arts and Science, Associate of Arts.
Elias Jacobson, Animal Science, Associate of Applied Science.
Hannah Rolfe, Animal Science, Associate of Applied Science, Advanced General Agriculture Certificate.
Katie Russell, Animal Science, Associate of Applied Science, Advanced General Agricultural Certificate, and General Agricultural Certificate.
Richard Augustine, Automotive Service Technology, Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate.
Marcus Bailorjean, Automotive Service Technology, Associate of Applied Science, and Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate.
James Rouser, Automotive Service Technology Diploma, Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate.
Isaac Ray, Automotive Service Technology Diploma and Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate.
Jesse Wilson, Automotive Service Technology Diploma, Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate.
Brock Borkart, Automotive Electronics and Drivability Certificate, highest honors.
Wei Kim, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Associate of Applied Science.
Chelsea Abel-Sarinsky, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Business, Associate of Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, highest honors.
Brooke Brandon, Business Associate of Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate.
Brenna DeLager, Business Associate of Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, highest honors.
Hannah Deach, Business Associate of Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, Academic Excellence.
Ashley Moe, Business Associate of Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, Academic Excellence.
Carter Arndt, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Cody Bannert, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Brianna Benson, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Lance Duncan, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Jonathan Erickson, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Applied Science.
Chadwick Gwynn, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Jaron Gunderson, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, highest honors.
Ian Hutton, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Benjamin Largus, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, highest honors.
Brody Merrill, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Scott Olsland, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, highest honors.
Andrew Reeves, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Hunter Roller, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Nathan Walbaum, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Science.
Taylor Clark, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Associate of Applied Science.
Kevin Lanning, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement Diploma, Academic Excellence.
Summer Adet, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Certificate.
Anthony Smith, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice Law Enforcement Certificate.
Eric Broading, Electronic Tech, Automotive Systems, Associate of Applied Science.
Jonathan Danielson, Electronics Tech, Automated Systems, Associate of Applied Science, highest honors.
Jerry Gustafson, Liberal Arts and Science, Associate of Arts, Electronics Tech, Automated Systems, Associate of Applied Science, highest honors.
Kylie Simpson, Electronics Tech, Automated Systems, Associate of Applied Science, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Rachel Thompson, Electronics Tech, Automated Systems, Associate of Applied Science, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, highest honors.
Jeremy Wisco, Electronics Tech, Automated Systems, Associate of Applied Science, highest honors.
Siri Amiat, Liberal Arts and Science, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Jarissa Bailey, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Caitlin Bakken, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Julia Bernstein, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Weston Bring, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Science.
Kyle Fowler, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Eric Jarina, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Victoria German, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Gracie Hannon, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Ashlyn Hendrickson, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Braden Ivanishin, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Marie Johnson, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Aaron Kramer, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Trandon Lair, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Allison Leon, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Zamari Minter, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Jordan Nelson, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, Academic Excellence.
Lonnie Padilla, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
J.C. Pribble, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Levi Rogenbach, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Devontae Ryans, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Jaden Schindler, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Kayla Selvig, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Maddie Stewart, Liberal Arts and Sciences Diploma, Academic Excellence.
Bree Annan Wilson, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts, highest honors.
Tayton Zutz, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Katie Reed, Medical Coding Specialist, Associate of Applied Science.
Nicholas Wheat, Electronic Tech Marketing, Associate of Science, Electronic Tech Marketing Diploma, Supervisory Leadership Certificate, Academic Excellence.
Trevor Knutson, Precision Agriculture Equipment Tech, Associate of Applied Science.
Connor Renamo, Precision Agriculture Equipment Tech, Associate of Applied Science and Academic Excellence.
Chase Schmitz, Precision Agricultural Equipment Tech, Associate of Applied Science.
Marcus Goulet, Welding Process Technology Diploma, Welding Process Technology Certificate, and Welding Manufacturing Technology Certificate.
Megan Beck, Practical Nursing Diploma, highest honors.
Natasha Coyle, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Bridget Erlinson, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Gabrielle Gary, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Bethany Geske, Practical Nursing Diploma, Academic Excellence.
Tessa Halling, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Felicia Lundstrom, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Cassidy Mostrom, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Marie Umdahl, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Alexis Sigurdsson, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Catherine Shemansky, Practical Nursing Diploma, Academic Excellence.
Cassie Thorderson, Practical Nursing Diploma, Academic Excellence.
Mercedes Tim, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Caitlin Wall, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Austin Wall, Practical Nursing Diploma.
Kristen Weiss, Practical Nursing Diploma, highest honors.
Jennifer Booth, Nursing Associate of Science.
Amanda Borgen, Nursing Associate of Science.
Priscilla Kuhn, Nursing Associate of Science. Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Lolita Cronin, Nursing Associate of Science.
Mackenzie Cullen, Nursing, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Asia Davis, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Mariah DeRocher, Nursing, Associate of Science, highest honors.
Emily Hebert, Nursing, Associate of Science, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Associate of Arts.
Johanna Jacobson, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Jane Johnson, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Michelle Cotter-Henrich, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Mustafa Mohammed, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Kylie Matthew, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Lillian Milikowski, Nursing, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Rachel Moorberg, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Lonnie Muse, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Jordan Olson, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Michaela Olson, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Casey Priest, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Anne Prudhomme, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Laura Schauer, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Anne Skulski, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Michaela Smith, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Karma Spies, Nursing, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Amanda Swanson, Nursing, Associate of Science.
Stacy Roseman Wittenberg, Nursing, Associate of Science, Academic Excellence.
Graduates, please rise. As a symbol of your academic accomplishments, you may now move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your mortarboards. Congratulations. Parents, spouses, relatives, and friends, I would like to let you know that we at Northland appreciate the important role you have played in supporting your graduates' success. We would also like you to know that we share the sense of pride today because of their achievements. In closing, graduates, I again want to congratulate you and wish you the greatest success as you begin this new chapter in your life. Everyone is welcome to join us for a reception in the Gunderson Commons. We do ask that the audience remain seated until the recessional is over. Thank you.